money.
No cap.
Ain't got no power, man.
Ay. And I'm right back in the A. Smooth, I ain't leave him no trace. Rest on me. Rest on me, fresh out the chase. You got it off the display. I got it from the wrong way. I got it. Fuck it, I go out the blank. I don't do this shit for the fame. Stacking these Benjamin Franks. You rich, they don't give you no rank. Thinking it's that, but it ain't. They put on my back in that A. Pulling up all kind of ways. Ay, 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 ay. I got this hoe on the scroll. Bitches like Marilyn Monroe. Can't beat me, I'm standing 10 toes. Get my dose back in the row. AP off factory go. I been getting back in that mode. I'm back in it. Baby got a drip like Gunna. I see how you mixing designer. My car's $500,000. I can't.
Boys, so we just touched down in Atlanta for the second time in the past like 2 weeks. No one really knows yet, except for you guys. You're gonna see, but I have something special you're gonna see throughout this video. I've kind of hinted it a little bit on my Instagram stories, but really kind of just getting tired of Miami in the sense of I feel like I'm losing myself a little bit. I'm grateful for all the lessons I've learned, the people I've met, and like I wouldn't do it any different. Like if you took me back a year and a half ago or 2 years, I would still move down to Miami because it was a great experience, but I'm really just missing that. Like I grew up in the country. I grew up like around not superficial people. I grew up around people who valued more than just like flexing fake money and stuff. And don't get me wrong, this is still my lifestyle and I love it, but I want to be around my family. I want to be around the people I grew up with. And I just want that like Southern vibe. Like I feel myself on Saturday mornings. I'm tired of being trapped up in a box in the sky that I pay $10,000 a month for. I'd rather go outside and mow the grass and have like a big house where I can pull my cars into the garage, etc. So that kind of just gave it away right there. But it's kind of the reason why we're back here. I went to Orlando for a day, was down here for like a week, didn't have my car. It's not really fun when I'm staying at my parents' house and I don't have my car, but I get to spend some quality time with my family. But I shipped the SF90 up here last night, and it's freezing cold. So 30 minutes when me and Drewski get home, we're gonna have a real cold start and we're gonna go eat because I'm starving, and then early wake up tomorrow, get some work done, and I'll just kind of take you guys through a day of like what it's like when I come here. I've posted a couple vlogs going home, but they've just kind of been like self-recorded, and I don't feel like they actually show the meaningfulness behind what it's like when I'm here. So hopefully we'll be able to catch all the behind the scenes moments, and you guys can really just like see like where I grew up and how it was when this YouTube channel was first growing, for the first time. So we're on the way back right now in an Uber. So dope. We got like a cooler with like some waters. I guess that's what happens when every time you go home from the airport, you spend $200 to get a black truck. But I'll see you guys at the crib. We'll go eat. And bro, let's just have a fucking week. This vlog will probably be a whole entire week's worth of clips. We're in for a crazy one. Let's go.
Hi.
My little sister Sarah. My dad.
What's up?
It's like, what's going on here? Guys, we just touched down. Mr. Speedy over here. Damn. I don't know, like, what instinct is that? Where dudes will be in like a slow ass car and they see a fast one and they're like, like, what the fuck makes you? When my car was slow as fuck and I would see people in a fast car, I'd be like, damn, that's dope. And just like, keep fucking driving. We should have a killer day tomorrow. I'm just gonna go home and probably go to sleep. It's pretty dope. When you come from Miami to this, it's like complete teleportation. Like, bro, if I wanna go to Publix at night, right? Now, again, Andrew speaks Spanish. I love Latinas. I love Spanish people, right? But I'm tired of living in America and every time I go outside, it's Spanish, it's fucking Russian, it's Italian. I'm like, I want to listen to some people speak English.
Puppy, I know black.
Yeah, like, oh, puppy, I know black. Oh, like, I'm like, bro, just like talk to me, say, hey, like when I get in the Uber, John, instead of like, Yon, it's for you. Like, I want to communicate normally, right? Everything is just so extra. Bro, I can pull my car in, walk into Publix, get whatever I need. If I need help, I'm like, excuse me. And a sweet girl will be like, oh, what can I do for you? And I'm like, mind blown. Yeah, they're like in Miami, bro, if you go to like, let's say like you go to Publix, I'm like, excuse me, they're like, okay? And I'm like, bro, like, can you help me? And they're like, 1 second. And I'm like, bro, and here people are actually like nice, and I don't know. I'm like supercharged because I've done nothing right now. It feels like I'm like tweaking ADHD. But it's in all seriousness, it's just nice here. I'm getting so tired of parking in a parking garage. Everywhere you go, it's like so stressful. Like, bro, listen right now. I haven't felt that in like 2 years. Like, bro, if you're in Miami, it's screaming, supercars, noise, construction, 24/7. Bro, right now, it's pitch silent. Pitch silent. That's not even a word I just created. It's pitch silent, bro. It's pitch silent. The sky is pitch black. Oh, it's so nice. It's actually so nice. But, bro, I mean, look at this. Look at this beauty. I used to go to this La Casina literally from 6th grade until I moved out. Like every Tuesday, I would get tacos there. And when I was smoking hella weed, bro, I remember I would go to the ATM and get out like the little money I had to go buy like a zip. And then I would work out, and then after, I would go to the Little Caesars and I would get the crazy bread, and I would carb load in my car, and I would feel horrible after. And then I would just go scroll on TikTok. That shit was terrible. But what I've noticed recently is I got so obsessed with this feeling of like everything has to be perfect in order for me to work hard. Like, oh, if I eat some candy, then I can't work hard all day. And I would like convince myself of that. But then I realized like I'm not preaching balance. I think you need to be extremely in one area, and you need to be extremely obsessed. I don't think balance is the key, but I do think that there does need to be times where you just like let yourself be yourself. Because if you're constantly fighting your mind, now this doesn't work if you haven't made any progress, right? When you haven't made any progress, you sacrifice every fucking day, every little ounce of anything that you're doing, you sacrifice it towards success. But once you've had some success, if you continue to just trap yourself in a bubble, you will lose yourself and you'll have no creativity. And it was kind of what was happening in Miami. It was like the first 6 months was like every day wake up at the same time, push-ups. I was like, I don't want to meet anyone. Everyone here is a fucking degenerate. All these people are retards. And then it got to the point where I was like, damn, like I kind of need to start letting myself do some things. I kind of need to start letting myself like, maybe I do want to meet this person. Maybe I open up a little bit more. And it gave me so many more creative ideas. But even recently, it's like, no, I need to stick to the plan. I need to stay in Miami. And I'm like, no, I want to get a fucking house here. I want to take my family out to dinner every weekend. I want to wake up and mow my grass on Saturdays. And I didn't develop this life for myself to be trapped in any boundary. So I'm going to do it impulsively. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be moved out in 2 months. I'm going to be in a house, my fucking dream house. I'm going to have equity in the house in like a year because the market's just going to keep inflating. I can sell it and go somewhere else. Like, this is the path that I want to walk. And I want to kind of show you guys that once you've sacrificed 2 or 3 years of your life and you've built the skill of working hard and creating work ethic within yourself, then it just comes down to how much of a vision and how much of a story can you apply to your goals. Because eventually things like this will stop motivating you. Like, it's dope and everything, and like it's cool for the video and stuff, but like I get in the car and like if I'm pissed off, I'm still pissed off. If I'm sad, I'm still sad, right? It's cool, it's nice to have, but it's just a feature. It's just an accessory on top of your character. And if you haven't customized your character, even if you make money, it's just gonna amplify you being a piece of shit. Right? So you really want to work on your character, and then money actually amplifies that character and makes you more attractive. It makes you able to talk better. It gives you better connections and things like this, but that only comes on the back of really hard work. So we're just going to see what this week throws at us. Tomorrow we'll probably wake up 5 a.m., go to Daily Grind, this coffee shop that I go to at 6, work, got a group call at 9, I've got a client call at like 3, and then Chris Bumstead is opening a gym. We might go train there tomorrow, but I know for sure in this vlog we're gonna go to their grand opening. C-Bum's actually gonna be there himself. I think it'll be dope to pull up in this in Atlanta. So let's jump in the car, maybe we'll rip around for a little bit and then probably go to sleep. But I just worked for 4 hours, and then I picked up my boy, we did some cardio, and now I literally have a group call in 3 minutes. I'm gonna give you guys some sauce and then I'm gonna eat some boiled eggs, and then we're gonna sit down and have a conversation about the transformation that's happened in my life from this house to where I am now, and this new stage of life that we're getting back into. So I'm literally I was about to say I'm gonna throw a shirt on, but I'm not gonna throw a shirt on. I'm gonna throw my chain on and then take the call. Let's go. You know, it's actually funny. I think about this all the time, how, you know, making money today, it's all about marketing. And I've kind of built my brand on top of this. Obviously, without being good at marketing, you'll never make money, you'll never make any sales. You can't do anything without being great at marketing. But all the best businesses, they have created an amazing product. I have this quote that I've said for probably 2 years, you know, and there's been other people that have said things like this, but I feel like I genuinely came up with the quote this way. And I'm like, the best marketers win in the short term, but eventually they get overrun with their inability to create a good product, right? So you're gonna make money no matter what if you're a great marketer. And you can have the best product in the entire world. But if you don't learn how to market and no one ever finds out about your product, well, you're never gonna make money, right? But the people that win in the long term, that reap all of the rewards, that have the most amount of success, that just continue to surpass everyone's expectations over and over and over and over again, are the people who make an amazing product that learn to market well. You don't have to be the best marketer, but if you learn to market well, and you have a great product, you will outpace even the best marketers, simply because marketing cannot outcompete bad word of mouth. Marketing can't outcompete bad reviews. The momentum that compounds from people talking about the product that you have is where the best entrepreneurs are made. And this is kind of the entire dichotomy with the info product space, with the coaching industry, with, you know, selling digital products. And you guys know I'm Mr. Free Value on Instagram. I've built my business on top of giving out value, because I truly believe that if you provide enough value, people will come by, right? I was never the best marketer in the beginning, simply because I had a ton of ideas of things that I could do that I thought would help me go viral. But a majority of them felt like I was changing my character. I was trying to display somebody that I wasn't. I was trying to display a person that I wasn't actually on the inside, almost like an actor. And a lot of these influencers on social media, they're actors. They're actors, and that's why they're in and out of consistency, right? They're constantly having these identity crises and changing so much. It's the same thing that you see with people in Hollywood. Why do people get so weird? Why do people, you know, like lose, you know, exactly who they were? How does Taylor Swift go from a innocent 16-year-old girl in Nashville to some, you know, billionaire, demonic, you know, child predator, right? I mean, let's be realistic. That's what it is. Who's pushing, you know, COVID vaccine on all these people with her little gay boyfriend that plays in the NFL, right? But that's not the topic of this video. But think about it. Truly, it's because these people are constantly eroding their own identity, because they're constantly playing a side. They're constantly marketing for something they don't believe in. They're constantly trying to portray this character that they think the world wants to see. And it's stressful, because it's not true to who you are. And so all of my clients in the business that I built has been built on top of authenticity. But I think because of this industry, because marketing is so important, so many people they get a little hit of success from maybe embellishing or changing the truth a little bit, and they just start to double down and double down and double down and double down. And a big thing that I haven't really talked about much, and for those of you guys who have been watching me since my aggression talk days, you saw me, you know, in the Acura. I think the second aggression talk that I ever made was right up there on that deck. I'm wearing like it's these old shirts from like Y2K. It was like my favorite shirt. I don't know. I'll remember it later. But I made it right here, and I didn't really talk too much about my situation, because quite frankly, I don't really think that your situation matters towards success, because there's 3 different positions that you could be in. You can be in the bottom. You can be in the absolute bottom when you're growing up. Extremely poor, divorced parents, you know, zero momentum at all. And then you can be in the middle. Maybe your parents are still divorced, but maybe your parents have, you know, a little bit of connections, you know. Maybe your dad makes $80,000, $100,000 a year. I mean, let's be real. So many people on Instagram be like, oh my gosh, $100,000 a year is rich. If your parents make $60,000 a year, like, you're poor. Like, you can't really live in America, you know, and there's plenty of people that they, you know, $30,000, $60,000. I understand, you know, we live in a first world country, but let's be real here. You have that position, you have the middle class, and then you have, you know, your dad started his own business. You have your dad's a doctor, you have your dad's a lawyer. You know, a lot of the kids that I went to school with, right? They're going to, they're going on multiple vacations a year, right? Every Christmas, their Christmas tree is like flooded with 100 presents. They're getting Louis Vuitton, they're getting this and that. And, their dad makes $350,000 a year, $500,000 a year, right? They live in a $2 million house. And, I was extremely blessed. My parents love me. My parents have, done everything they can for me. I never had to worry about, food being on the table. I always had a place to sleep. I've never been one to try and talk about how the struggle of how I was raised, because I don't really think that it matters to the success that you have. Because if you're in the bottom tier and you grew up poor, no connections, bad parents, there's so much motivation inside of you for you to actually compete and level up and get better. And if you live in America, it doesn't matter where you started out. Every single person has the exact same opportunity, because every level of comfort that you go up, middle class or you grow up rich, you lose motivation, you lose skills, you lose problem solving ability. So if you take two people and you have one kid who's 22 who wants to be an entrepreneur, and he grew up, his dad made $400,000 a year, lived in a $1.5 million house, parents paid for his college, parents always put money in his bank account, parents bought him a first car, right? I didn't have any of those luxuries. I started working at 14. I had to buy my own car. My parents all told me, we're not going to pay for your college. I didn't want to go to college from day one, but right, we have these two different types of people. We have that guy, and then we have a kid who has, maybe his parents are divorced, right? Maybe his dad's in and out of rehab. Maybe his, he grew up with his, mom using EBT to buy groceries, right? All of these different things. The kid who grows up without his parents in his life as much and that doesn't have the comfortable situation, unfortunately, because of the pain that he has to go through, he will develop more skill. He will have to learn how to think on his own. He'll have to learn how to problem solve. He'll have to learn how to be more resourceful. He'll have to learn how to be charismatic. He'll have to learn how to get his way in situations. He'll have to learn how to show the value that he has, because it was not given to him. And that right there sets him up to be in even better position than the kid who had everything. Because the kid who had everything has zero motivation to get better, right? He's probably numbing his life from his lack of necessity to survive, because if your parents provide for you that much and you're a man, you lose all your sense of masculinity. You lose it all. You lose all your sense of masculinity because everything is put in front of you on a silver platter. Now me, we went through ups and downs when I was young. My dad was making 6 figures a year, just barely probably. I never got the things that I wanted, but my dad raised me well. I had a 4-wheeler when I was growing up, and we got to do things like that. We got to go to the lake with my grandparents all the time. I got to go snow skiing when I was little. And once we moved to Georgia, my dad took up this new job opportunity. And, my dad grew up here in Georgia, and he'd always wanted to move back to Georgia because he was like, man, I want my kids to grow up on the lake. I want my kids to grow up in Georgia. My dad really despised Alabama, which is where my mom is from. But when we moved here, everything changed. I went from being homeschooled in Alabama, not having a phone, never having even spoken to a girl before, just really being in my own world, reading, hanging outside, no video games, no exposure to social media, nothing like that. And as I moved here, it was a massive culture shock to go from Birmingham, Alabama to a city 30 minutes outside of Atlanta, and I'm in public school for the first time, and I have a phone, and immediately as I go into school, everything starts to change, and I start to go down this really dark path. But I look back on it, and I'm thankful for every single bad memory, every single thing that's painful that I remember. But as that's happening, my dad goes into the biggest financial turmoil or financial struggle of our entire life, right? The guy who had promised him a salary and commission cut his salary and told him he's only going to pay him on commission. The guy who owns the business starts gambling all of the money away. And, my dad has mouths to feed. My dad is, he's got 3 kids. He's got a a daughter who's going through high school. He's got a son who's in middle school, and then my little sister as well. And so, I saw what it does to a man, especially a man like my dad, to not be in a position to abundantly provide, but to so desperately want to. And also not be in a position to take risks because you have 3 mouths to feed and you have a wife to support. Because when you're on your own, I remember when I was starting my journey, I looked at myself, I'm like, I'm 17. If I have to sleep under a bridge and I'm homeless because I fail, like worst case scenario, it's fine. I don't have little mouths to feed. I don't have people depending on me. And I just saw nights, like I saw my dad in situations that I just never ever seen before. I saw fights. I saw, reactions. I saw the way that, he acted to people around him and the way it made me feel and the way it made, my family feel. And I was like, I never, ever, ever, ever want money to be something that drives me apart from my family or causes problems in my family. We live in a sinful world, so there's always going to be problems, especially with those that you love the most. But I wanted money to never be a thing that I had to go out and try to force and rack my brain to make when I had a family, because it takes away your ability as a man to actually be there for your kids the way that you need. If you're constantly running the rat race in order to provide, you cannot love your wife. You cannot be the husband that you're supposed to be because you're focused on providing. You can't be the father that you're supposed to be because you're focused on providing. Your children eating, quite frankly, is more important than their emotional stability. But then you have to battle with the fact of, did I raise them right? And so that was one of my biggest motivations early on. And, I lost a lot of that closeness and that relationship with my father that I had. But as I go into this story a little bit deeper, what's funny is there's so many guys in my industry, and there's 2 that actually come to mind that are like close to my age, right? One of them I actually respect as a competitor. The other one is just an absolute degenerate. Just got like exposed for not paying his sales team, but we'll not talk about that. But what's funny is these guys, they twist and mold and bend their story so hard to make it seem like their struggle was more difficult. One of them claims he was homeless and had warrants out for his arrest, when in reality, he was just being a degenerate. Like, my parents kicked me out when I was smoking weed and drinking and stuff like this. This is normal. Like, you can't claim victim when you're doing shit that's not going to keep you in your parents' house anymore, right? You know what I'm saying? And then I had a ticket that I also got that I just forgot to pay because I was lazy, and it went in as a warrant, right? That doesn't make you homeless and having warrants out for your arrest, right? And so these people, they claim that there was this massive struggle, right? Another one of them, he claims, it was just me and my mom, when in reality, he got an insurance policy from his dad that he used to buy the cars that he had in the beginning, right? And I'll say this, you hear people all the time say like, real winners don't talk about other people. That's absolute BS. Go look at the biggest bosses in business, the biggest bosses in politics, right? Like just 2 people that, because I just said politics, that came to mind, like Trump and PBD. Bro, they're the biggest smack talkers. They just back it up. There's a difference in talking and calling out your competitors or talking down on someone who's just trying to start, right? People who are better than you will never talk down on you. Yeah, if someone's like, if there's some dude with 500,000 followers and a dude with 1,000 followers, and the guy with 500K followers is, talking shit about the guy with 1,000 followers, right? There's an ego insecurity problem there, right? But there's a difference in calling people out and being like, man, do better in this industry. And that's the biggest reason why I've never talked too much about my story, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you didn't have, a father. And I could never, ever understand what that's like, but I've been through my own fair share of pain. One of my closest friends, when I was 12 years old, hung himself. That's difficult to go through at 12 years old, right? Lots of, things that happened when I was younger. You can go back and watch my aggression talks about this, but just sexually with girls who were older than me and people close around me and stuff like this, that was just like, I had to grow up so fast. So fast. But I've never ever once sat and tried to tell a sob story about, how my life was so hard. And I've never ever sat and tried to fake where I came from. like I said, we're here right now. I remember the house that I grew up in when I was younger was like $250,000. And then I remember when we bought this house in 2016, I remember when my parents closed on it, it was like $404,000. I mean, nice house, but most every average hardworking person who can like think for themselves and actually, you know, want something for their life can go out and achieve that. And quite frankly, I just always wanted more. I never wanted to work a job, have kids that I couldn't spend much time with, come home every single day, look forward to the weekend, drink, look forward to watching football, watch movies, go to church on Sunday, and call that my life. I would stay up every single night and like literally, it felt like I was like profusely sweating because of how badly I didn't want to be stuck in that situation. And I looked at every single man around me who was, you know, quote unquote successful, and I was like, if that's my life, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. And so I started this talk talking about marketing and how your product is the number one thing that matters. But you have to keep in mind, when it comes to building a personal brand, which is the highest leverage, smartest thing you could do going into 2026, it doesn't matter if you're in landscape. One of my guys here that actually graduated from my high school 4 or 5 years before me, we hadn't connected in a while. He bought my program about 7 months ago. He built a multi-six-figure landscaping business, and now he has an info product where he makes videos and he teaches other guys who don't want to go to college or who have already started, you know, mowing people's grass or stuff like this, how to scale their landscaping business to $250,000 a month or $250,000 a year. And he's already made $60,000. He sold 6 $10,000 programs teaching other guys how to build their landscaping business, right? And he only has like 2,000 followers, right? I've got real estate guys. I have fitness coaches. I've got trading guys, right? It doesn't really matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter if it's some type of brick and mortar. I don't care if you teach dogs how to do tricks. The number one highest piece of leverage for you going into 2026 is starting a personal brand where you document your journey, you document the struggle, you document the pain and the different thought processes and the different things that you like and the way that you act that led you to the position that you're in. You document you becoming proficient at that skill, and then you use that 2 to 3 years of compounding value and people following you to start to teach people how to do that skill that you have learned proficiently. That is the name of the game, right? But I challenge you guys, don't get caught up in the creating a sob story. Don't get caught up in trying to make it seem like you struggled more than you did, or you're more successful than you are, or you're more in shape than you are, or you're smarter than you are. Just show up as who you are. I'm a 21-year-old kid who has massive insecurities. That's why I originally went to the gym. I wanted to make a bunch of money because my entire childhood growing up, I felt like I had great ideas and no one ever gave me the benefit of the doubt. No one ever asked me for advice. No one ever let me share my opinion or took it as valid. And so I was massively insecure that I wanted to get to the point to where there was so much proof that I knew that what I was talking about, that every single adult in my family would finally now listen to me and take what I said as true. And now it's almost, weird. Every family gathering that I go to, it's like, my uncles, the men that are older than me can't really tell me, be quiet, you don't know what you're talking about anymore, because they're 40 years old and I make more money than them. Some of them, I make more money in, 2 weeks than they do in a year. And I don't say that with ego. I love every man in my family, but this is just kind of like the reality of where I'm at now. But do I act like I'm just like, oh, I'm better than everyone and that's why I've made money? No. Every single person who's successful, it comes on the back of massive insecurity. But as soon as you can accept that, and as soon as you can understand why you have this desire to be great, God put that in every one of us, right? Some of you, He put that in you for sports. Some of you, He put that in you for your children. Some of you, He put that in you for ministry. Some of you, He put that in you to be, a great employee. Contrary to what the internet says, some people were built to be great employees. Like, for example, we were filming the other night and there's this kid who has this, he's like in this like media crew. And I was talking with my boy Sammy, and I was like, man, that guy's a little bit weird, but like he's so good at his job. And he was like, yeah, bro. He's like, he's kind of socially awkward, but like he's so good at it. And I'm like, we need people like that. Personally, like, for example, I almost died when I was 14 years old. I used to race mountain bikes, and I had a handlebar go through my stomach. I lacerated my spleen. They had to remove my spleen. They had to remove the top third of my pancreas. My spleen was going toxic inside of my body, and I was bleeding internally, and I was like about 30 minutes from dying. Now, if I have a surgeon who's going to cut open my stomach and remove my organs, I want that person to be a rule follower. I want him to be analytical. I want him to be so socially awkward because he is so detailed that I don't die. We need people like that, right? Me personally, that's not a job for me. I'm detailed in some things, but I wouldn't trust myself even with, you can learn a skill with, if I went to school for 10 years, I'm sure that I could become a surgeon if I wanted to, but I don't think that's what I was made for. I don't want people designing and engineering planes who aren't their brain just works analytical. Like, those aren't people that are good at building relationships. Those aren't people that are visionaries. They're employees. They're great at following directions. We have to have all different types of people. And so I encourage you, stop trying to change your story. Stop trying to change where you came from. Don't try and make it look like it's any different. If you go back and you watch my videos, my story has stayed congruent from the beginning. I had to work my ass off for everything that I wanted. I was never given shit. I was popular at school. I decided to sacrifice all of that popularity because I was like, man, this popularity doesn't matter if I go to college for 4 years, learn nothing, and I'm just, drinking and hanging out with pretty girls. I want to make money. Lost all my friends. Everyone laughed at me, failed multiple businesses, parents didn't believe in me, nobody believed in me. And I've crossed every single goal I ever had off that bucket list. Bought every dream car that I've wanted, moved down to Miami, smashed every single goal that I wrote down in my journal day after day after day after day after day after day. I had my struggles, I had my wins. There were some things that I started with that other people don't have, and there were tons of things that I didn't have that other people did start with. Stop complaining about where you started. Stop looking at other people and being like, man, if only I started in their position, if only I had that. And start looking in yourself and look at every single setback as a solution. Because my parents aren't together, that is going to be my driving factor that I make so much money and I find a woman that I can stay with for life so that my kids never have to go through what I go through. You can sink or you can swim. You can look at the problem and you can let it destroy you. Or you can look at the problem and you can let it build you. You can let it craft you. You can let it shape you into the man that you're going to be. I have sat in this exact same area. I've snuck in through this garage when I was 14 years old high. I've snuck in through this garage with girls and drank in this basement. I've mowed the grass with the lawnmower that's in there, tons of times. I've done everything. I had a little bike shop where one summer I was, because I've always had these little entrepreneurial ideas where I was like posting on Facebook and people were bringing me their bikes. At one point I had 50 bikes and I was working on them and I was making money off it. Like, I've done so many things right here. And now I'm sitting here at 21 years old with a $500,000 Ferrari behind me. And that's not coincidental. That didn't just happen. I didn't just fall into this place. I put effort. There was direction. Every single day, all of my attention was going into these goals. It was directed, it was methodical, and it was planned out. I'm sure a couple of different decisions, I could be in a completely different place right now. But every single one of you has the ability, no matter where you started, no matter what you were gifted or what was taken away from you, every single one of you has the ability, regardless of your story, to do whatever that you wanted. Doesn't matter your parents' situation, doesn't matter your situation. Stop using anything as an excuse. And if your goal is to scale your personal brand and build a coaching business or make money online the way that I did, the last thing on your mind should be to change or shift or shape your story in a way that you think the viewer wants to view you. The number one thing that'll make you hyper successful at an exponential rate is you coming in front of the camera and just authentically displaying your story. Don't change anything. Don't make yourself seem like somebody you're not. Let the weird shit, let them see it. That is what is the most authentic, especially as AI starts to come in and try to replace human skill, start to replace human personality. The more human you seem,
the more people are going to crave and want to watch your content, because they're going to get so brainwashed and so bored of watching AI videos. They're going to get so brainwashed and so bored of watching the same thing over and over again, because the AI is going to be pulling from the cloud. But your brain, it's not shared in the cloud collectively. God has given you your own thoughts, your own unique way of thinking, your own skills, and it's your job to share that with the world instead of withholding the things that are unique about you and trying to shape yourself to be like everyone else. That is where the real value is found. And so I leave you with this as we go into the rest of the vlog. As you watch the rest of these clips, as you get to see, my family here and there, as you get to see some of my friends, as you get to see the things that I'm doing, stop thinking about, man, how can I create this with my life? Learn from my story and think, how can I create my own life? Because I'm living right now the life that I envisioned. And it might look nice to you, but the life that you're envisioning should be different. There should be different details, different friends. You should carry yourself a different way. You should have a different car. You should want different things. And if you cannot envision your life with the same detail that you watch the rest of this vlog with, it's much farther off than you think. The last thing I'm going to leave you with, and I was talking to this young gentleman a couple of days ago, and I told him this. I told him, tell me what your biggest fear is. And he basically explained it in depth. Man, my biggest fear is working in a 9-to-5 and every day coming home and feeling like I just wasted 8 hours of my life doing something that's not actually beneficial to me in my future. And he explained it in depth, okay? And then I asked him, I was like, okay, so, tell me about your dream. And he's like, man, trying to be like you. I'm trying to have a nice car, I want to have some freedom and, I just want to make money, bro. And I was like, stop right there. Do you realize what you just did? I was like, do you realize what you just did? You just described the thing that you don't want to happen, the thing that you said is your biggest fear in absolute detail. But when I asked you, what did you want? You said a nice car, freedom, and some money. Freedom to do what? Freedom to wake up when you want? Freedom to go on trips whenever you want? He didn't even tell me what car he wanted. If you went back 2.5 years and you were like, what car do you want? I was like, I want a matte black Lamborghini Urus, Performante, red interior. I want the Alcantara. I could literally close my eyes, and I would do this sometimes while I was driving. You can hear me talk about this before. I would close my eyes, and this is so dangerous. You probably shouldn't do this. But I would close my eyes and drive in my Acura TL, and I wouldn't open my eyes until I could feel the steering wheel and the Alcantara and the red stitching of the Lamborghini steering wheel. That's how detailed the vision was in my mind. I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew how I wanted to carry myself. I knew how I wanted to treat other people. I knew how I wanted to act. I knew the restaurants that I wanted to go to. I knew how I wanted people to treat me when I walked in a room, down to a T. But this young gentleman, he told me he wanted a nice car, freedom, and some money. But he could describe to a T what he didn't want to happen. And let me leave you with this. Your brain hates abstract ideas. It wants to focus on the concrete. Your brain doesn't know the difference between good or bad idea. It just knows that you're thinking about it. So if this young guy is telling me he wants money, freedom, and a nice car, but his brain is only constantly thinking about the detailed scenario, which is a 9-to-5, wasting his life, feeling unfulfilled, driving a shitty car, that's constantly playing in his head over and over again. He's like, man, I don't want that. Man, I don't want that. Man, I don't want that. But he's operating, because your thoughts become your reality. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You will become as your thoughts, because he's running that goal slide of what he doesn't want to happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over again in his head. And his body does not interpret that as bad. It just interprets that as, I'm always thinking about it. So he will start to make decisions. He will start to view opportunities. And he will start to view the world in his own reality through the lens of the thing he does not want. Because his brain will not focus on abstract goals that don't exist. Whereas my brain, every time I thought about a bad scenario, I immediately took captive of my thought and I destroyed it. I don't even know what that thought is. I don't even know what that thought is, and I would replace it with a detailed thought of what I wanted. Or I would replace it with an exact detailed thought of what I wanted. So meanwhile, 98% of all human beings are running around playing the goal slide of what they fear, what they worry, and what they dread happening over and over and over and over and over and over again in their head. But you ask them what their goal is and they can't even tell you detailed. So they're constantly playing that scene in their mind. But the winners, the people that separate themselves, and what you're going to do after this video, if you have not already, is start to have a detailed, exact understanding of the goals and the things that you want to achieve. Not talking just about the material. Write it down, that's fine. And I'll tell you right now, if you're watching this and you want a house or you want a certain dollar amount in your bank account and you have not written down on a piece of paper, I will have $10 million liquid by the end of 2026. It'll never happen. I want a Lamborghini Urus by the end of 2024. The first time you do it, you'll feel like you're committing a crime. You'll feel like you're doing something wrong. The very first time I wrote down, I will have a Lamborghini Urus Performante by the end of 2024. I felt guilty. I was like, ugh. Like, who, because it was so far from me that I was like, who am I to be writing this that I actually believe that? Who am I? But the more I wrote it, the more I wrote it, the more I wrote it, the more I thought about it, the more I started to believe it was possible. The very first time I wrote it down, when I wrote it down for the first time, I really fully realized that I didn't actually believe that it was real. I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, it'd be nice, but I didn't believe it was real. The more I started to speak it and act it, it started to become part of my identity. Yeah, I'm gonna drive a Lamborghini. I remember my whole family laughed the first time I said that because it was so far off, so far off. You're gonna drive an SUV that costs almost as much as the house we live in. You're gonna drive an SUV that costs, 3 times more than, what your dad has made in a year. And I was like, yeah, I am. And look at what happened. Because I was constantly focusing on exactly what I wanted to happen. I wasn't focusing on what had been taken from me. I wasn't focusing on what I didn't have. I wasn't focusing on any of that. I was authentically being me. I was working my ass off every single day, and everything that I did was planned. And that's exactly why I'm in the position that I am today. And remember, you can do anything on your own, but the whole entire point of a mentorship is to completely destroy the time threshold that it would take for you to figure it out. So if it would take you 4 years on your journey, the whole point of having a mentor is to show your blind spots, show you exactly how to shortcut that success within 3 to 6 months. And if you're looking to scale your coaching business or your personal brand, or you already have one and you want to fulfill on your clients better, be able to reach more of your audience so that you're getting more inbound DMs, and you want to have an organic system that brings you clients that makes you $50,000 to $100,000 a month, you can click the first link. I have a free community with an 8-hour course, and I just put it out there just so you guys who have also bought other mentorships can be like, holy shit, John Mark just dropped something for free that's better than the $8,000 I just spent on my mentor, right? I want you to see it. Now, if you haven't posted, if you're not serious about this, you won't be approved into the community. But if you're actually working on scaling your brand and it's something that you're serious about, we'll let you in for free. You can join, and you can also be surrounded by a lot of the other members who have paid me, high 4 and 5 figure prices. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little talk. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video, but I wanted to make sure that you heard that before we continued so that you could watch it through the right lens. Instead of just consuming in a dream state, I wanted you to consume in an action state where you can actually start applying these things to your life and achieve your wildest dreams. Let's get it.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime, sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall.
Oh, busted.
Busted!
Mama Beth. You have to be in this. I promised everyone I'd start be like showing the family.
Okay, hey.
This is the mastermind behind everything. Thanks for homeschooling me. I appreciate it. Oh, busted. Motherfucking back day. Back day.
You don't even know it. Oh, high class niggas. This shit sound crazy. Fly shit only. This shit sound, you know what I'm saying? $1,000 pair of shoes, you don't even know it.
All right, guys, so this is the crunch. Oh, Grayson's pulling up. This is the crunch this wasn't really around when I still lived here. This is like the biggest one that they have, but this is where everyone goes to. So there was two. This is called Crunch Kennesaw. There's a Crunch Ackworth and then a Crunch West Cobb. I trained at West Cobb and then I worked at Ackworth. And this is kind of where all the people that went to those gyms go now. So we're gonna go inside. It's a bit weird. This is not like Miami. People look at a camera and they look at you like an alien, especially when you park in the emergency lane in a Rari with leaves inside of the intake. But let's jump inside.
It's $1,000 purple lane, you don't even know it. Just $500,000 car, you don't even know it. I came up from the bottom, you don't even know it. My niggas all ride with me, you don't even know it. Got killers with me right now, you don't even know it. This $1 million watch, nigga, you don't even know it. Got $1 million crib, nigga, you don't even know it.
Hey, that monster truck sit tall as fuck, it's so big, can't even tow it. Don't like snakes, keep my grad cut so low, can't even mow it. Tip done, period, look high glow. No, we don't do more it. If it ain't PJ, no rose for me. Season!
All right, brother, let's go.
Oh my God.
Yo, damn, that's my biggest goal. You saw how immediately it was like energy shift. Like no one else acts like that here in Atlanta. I'm trying to bring that energy to Atlanta with the info space because everyone here is just like dead and zombified and doing the same shit. Like, bro, Atlanta's a hub. There's so much talent, but everyone just assimilates to those around them. And somebody needs to take a stand and be like, yo, you don't have to go to Miami and have curly hair and sell a course. Like, you can build online businesses. We just need a fucking community of dudes who stiffen their spine and actually get shit done. That's my goal as I come back here, bro, is to turn fucking Atlanta into a fucking empire with morals. Because Miami is an empire with no morals and it doesn't really matter what you do. But I want Atlanta to be the empire that does have morals, where it's like solid people that you can trust, bro. That'll be the shit.
I found my love in Portofino.
Hey guys, if you see where this little latch is out that pushes in here? Mine is stuck inwards, and so there's nothing for the clip to actually latch onto. So they're hoping if whatever mechanism is wrong with the door, if they fix that, it'll also fix that. Because there's two different computers in the SF90 and there's just so much different. That pure Songway sounds gross. Damn. But this is, when I move here and I get another SF90, because I always said like SF90 is my favorite car to me, I would just get a Spider. This is gross. This is very gross, bro. Painted logos.
You need literally nothing on this.
Nothing, bro. Except for my exhaust into. This is my brother-in-law, Zach, my sister's husband.
Shake down.
Now I need you to take your arm, move the elbow up and down like this, but you gotta bring it in this plane right here. Oh, shit! Yeah, I'll turn it on. Okay, straighten these legs out. You ready? You need you to move the elbow.
I'd rather get switched by mom when I'm 6.
You turn your hand like this though. Yep, now go up and down. You gotta get the arm moving like this though.
This way or towards
like
you?
this,
Bro.
What's up, boys? So now we are in Cumming, it's not a joke, Cumming, Georgia, on Lake Lanier. This lake, my dad used to tell me about all the time. Like growing up, we loved going to the lake. This is his favorite lake, and his dream has always been to live on Lake Lanier and have a lake house. So this is one that I'm looking at because I think it's really cool, and I think that'd be sentimental to have a place like this. Obviously, we got the Rari outside, but let's go through it. It's definitely an interesting layout. Like all the other houses I've looked at are super modern, but this one, this is like my childhood dream, bro. This is sick. So obviously, it's been redone, and it looks super, super nice. The layout is honestly so homey. Like it feels so good. Little reading area here, living room, and it's not like a big baller bachelor house. It's just like you and your wife, and you just have a great time. You can have some friends over. Nice open kitchen. I love the wooden. It's not. I guess it kind of looks live edge, but it's not fully live edge. Like the wooden dining room tables that are picnic like that. Those are my favorite. They have them like all over. Let's go outside. Obviously, we come out here. Garage is there. It's a single plus a double car garage. Slide. Huge area. It's on the lake. Obviously, it's winter time right now, so the lake is super, super low. That's why it looks weird. But if we come down here, I mean, man, what a view to wake up to in the morning. This is nice. Now, I will say, the other house, we've toured a couple. I really like how modern and open. The other house I was looking at outside of Vinings and Buckhead is like 7,500 square feet, more room for the cars. Looks better for content, but this is like my country roots of growing up in Alabama. So nice. And obviously boat, because we recently got a Mastercraft that I'll show you guys. And getting a couple jet skis out here would be super cool. The pool is nice. Huge green area as far as the grass goes. Nice little gazebo over there. Imagine like wake up 4 a.m, Bible study in the gazebo. That would be sick. Everything is super open. Sliding glass here. This is kind of what's similar to the house in Buckhead, is there's sliding glass in the entire living room, and it goes out in front of the pool. So this would be super dope as well. I really like this for like having my family over, etc. Nice and open here. The ceilings are nice. This is what's super cool. So that's the master I'll take you guys into. But right here, we've got walk-in sauna. I mean, bro, wake up, sauna, go to sleep, sauna. Psh, that's the life. This is like the biohacking cave. Let's come out here. This is what's super dope next. So up those stairs is the kitchen I was just showing you. Little pool table area. Fireplace on both sides. Check this out. Boom. Little open foyer, hot tub, gym in there. I mean, guys, this is sick. Like, this isn't like modern mansion, but I like this so much more than all like the other more like modern like mansions we've looked at. And then there's a few more things to the house. Obviously, I'm not this isn't a house tour. Like, that's not the point of the video, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. But just, I mean, man, this is so cool. So nice, clear, master bedroom, double doors out to the lake. Like, that's a sick setup, if you ask me. But what do you guys think? I mean, let me know. Obviously, by the time this vlog is out, y'all will have seen some of the houses. And quite frankly, I'll probably have decided on one already. But man, it would be, having one like this would be super, super cool. If I can figure out how to close the doors. Whatever. But yeah, man, this is, what do you think, Drew?
I think it's retardedly nice.
Yeah, this is,
Yes, although the other one is like more modern-esque.
yeah.
I think even this one's better for content
Only,
because
yeah.
of the space.
The location, though, is the problem, bro. It's an hour away from anything. Guys, the Lion buys a house that costs less than his car, and his car can barely fit in. Just playing. We're in fucking Section 8 right now. We're in Atlanta. I just was looking for a random Airbnb that was because the gym I wanted to go to is like 50 minutes away from my parents' house, and I didn't want to keep driving there, driving back. So I got this little Airbnb. It's kind of weird. They definitely made it here just to be an Airbnb, but car barely fits on the inside. It kind of like looks funny, but it's whatever. I just want a place to stay. Usually I stay at the Waldorf or the St. Regis, but it's like $1,700 a night, and there's no like kitchen or anything like that. I just wanted like a kitchen and like a nice bathroom. There's a big ass bathroom in this place, so maybe I won't even sleep here tomorrow night, but we'll see. But we're gonna head to the gym right now to Carbon. I'm gonna get some pre-pump candy from the gas station and a Red Bull, and then we're gonna head there and we're gonna get a nasty training session.
Okay.
Yo, I feel like that's the most you've let it, like...
What? What the fuck? What? Yo, his whole fender falling off. It's that feeling when you're finally not stuck in Miami anymore.
First thing first, baby girl, let's get acquainted. My name Gucci Mane, baby, tell me what you drinking. That boy is a lame, he don't got no super game.
I can burn the wall if I vroom, vroom, vroom. What's up, boys? So we're here at Savaro Group. It's a new shop in Atlanta that one of my really close friends and my personal realtor is building with his partner Nolan, best friend and realtor. His name is Sammy. Super cool guy. If you're in Atlanta and you have any nice car at all, this will be the place to come. But they're in the process of building it out, so we're going to do some marketing and everything. Obviously, you can see we got one logo and the space is new, but we're pulling all the whips in now. Little Huracan over there. It's pretty cool. But it's good people, bro. It's good to like hang out with people I've known for 8-9 years. So it's really cool. And Sammy's like one of my closest friends in Atlanta. He's back in the S class right now. But yeah, it's gonna be sick. So we're gonna get some clips. We're gonna roll around. I had a crazy work session, like 5 hours on the computer today. It was really, really good. So yeah, just enjoy a nice night with all the supercars. We're gonna get some dope clips. That's sick. He actually sold me this car.
Are you serious?
So, yeah, this was his SF90 before.
This was his?
The SF90 he had, this was his, and then I bought it like right after we did like a deal, and I PPF'd it.
Yeah, no,
right.
I'm in his program.
Yeah,
I'm literally in his program.
Yeah, Jaden's my boy. He's a good guy.
His business partner, Connor, does similar to what you do. He's like the business side. He does a lot of the coursework.
100%. Jaden's making a killing though, just being like a middleman, like sourcing deals, connections, and stuff like that.
He's good at what he does.
He's good, yeah. He's a G. I fuck with Jaden. Jaden's a dog. This will be
Beautiful
sick.
car, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
I was just watching Jaden this morning.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I do his videos.
Yeah, I love his videos, man.
So like all the videos you see like with the Senna being filmed, that's him right there.
That's you.
Yeah,
really?
yeah. He's a beast, bro.
Yeah, man. Jaden told me, I got excited one time because I was like, oh my God, Jaden told me I have some sick cars.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, I'm doing something right.
Yeah,
Jaden's a center, right?
Yeah.
Jaden's a beast, bro. He's in cybersecurity, right? He's like, bro, I'm trying to teach people why they need to get into cybersecurity because it's a great industry. That's when you gain leverage. Once you built the skill and you make more. Yeah, that's what. And bro, every rich person, why are they rich? Because they have leverage.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? I just met somebody, he was trying to sell me on leverage. He was like, every time I come in the room, I'm always trying to see how I can like get leverage on the situation.
Well, that's okay. Think about it, like, bro. So I grew up here. I went to Harrison. Like I was in high school like 2.5 years ago, right? I had no leverage, but I had skills. You have to think about if you meet the average person that has a Ferrari and you go up to him and you're like, yo, like, what can I do for you? He don't care, right? You have to find like what are these things that's going to either make their life easier that they're willing to pay a high price for, right? So my detailer just detailed my whip. Is the detail that he did worth $300? I don't know, but I'm willing to pay the 300 because I know he's gonna drive to my place. He's done my whip before. I know him, and I'm gonna pay him. And he's worked on a ton of other Ferraris. I don't have to worry about it. So the leverage he has is peace of mind, and we have a relationship and the time that I'm gonna save instead of having to try and go look for someone else, right? So that's where he has leverage, where someone else might do the same job, like my detailer in Miami. He's arguably better, and he charges $65, but he's not in Atlanta, right? So every time I come out to my Atlanta, I hit up my boy, and he does it, right? So you have to think about where are you going to gain leverage over the person, and you shouldn't have to explain it to them, like they should just know. So like most of the time too, people would think like, oh, if I can like look like I have money around somebody that has money, then they're gonna wanna connect with me. There's so many people in Miami, bro, I could give two shits about making more connections. The only time I wanna build a connection is if I genuinely like mess with someone I want to build a relationship with, or if there is some type of leverage that I can gain where we can like mutually benefit each other.
You all can both have value in the same room.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's all it's about.
That's kind of what I got into detailing for too, you know, to get in the room, because
Yeah.
I know once you can work the room, it's different. Because I also work for Sony. I'm a songwriter and a singer too. So being in that kind of room, it's like, all right, if you're in that kind of room with the artist, what kind of room, what kind of...
Yeah, but like you got to think, okay, think about yourself like as like a chess piece. If you're in the room with a bunch of big Sony artists that are signed, if you're smaller, it's like your main goal might be like, I want to make bread with this. Well, your first thing should not be, oh, I'm going to put out a hit. It should be, where can I provide value to the guys who are above me so that they freely and openly want to give me knowledge. They want to help me. They want to connect me to other people, right? So it's about being prepared, because you might have been in the room with 10 people that could have changed your life, but you're just like, oh man, like they got more money than me, and you weren't prepared to offer them value, and then you missed the opportunity. You have to look at it like that.
Okay, and then last question like this, because I feel like a lot of young people already struggle with this. Like, do you drink and smoke? Like, occasionally you just cut that shit?
No, I used to smoke. I started smoking when I was 13. Mm-hmm. I don't smoke at all. It's been 2.5 years since I smoked.
And
I'll smoke like hookah. I'll smoke like some nicotine. Oh, 100%, bro. Right? Yeah, bro. I was smoking for like 7 years. I was like selling weed. I said, yo, I'm not gonna smoke again until I've got $1 million liquid in my bank account, and I just knew that I wouldn't want to smoke again by the time I did. And I went 2 years without drinking. I'll drink occasionally now, but never in the type of thing where it would like, yeah, exactly. You know, like I live in Miami, bro. Find another 21-year-old that's not every single night going out and blowing all their money at the clubs and stuff. I rarely do that. If it's like an event or something like that, I'll go out, I'll have a good time. But even me, bro, I find myself, I'm like, bro, I'm not like these people. I'm not even really having fun. Yeah, bro, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta sacrifice it in order to get there. Because you gotta think, be like, okay, I'm gonna smoke and drink. Like, what are you gonna gain? Happiness? Well, I'm willing to sacrifice 3 years of happiness in order to actually have leverage and actually like be like my own fucking grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought about it, I was like, okay, the number one reason I'm going out to like smoke and drink is just like for clout. But if you think about it, like like when you pick up a bitch and you're smoking her out, like what? Clout. You're smoking her out because you're like, wow, like I want to see you smoke this weed. No, it's clout, right? It's just like you feel like the people that you idolize in the music and shit, right? But if you're like, okay, I would rather actually live like the people in the music. Like, damn, I'm not trying to pick a bitch up and smoke her out in my. Would you rather pick a girl up and smoke her out in your $5,000 car, or pick her up and y'all are sober and you're in the fucking Maybach? Personally, I'd rather be in the Maybach, right? You know what I'm saying? So then you look at that and you're like, okay, this isn't adding anything to me. And then once you've made money and you've actually built the skill and you can actually control yourself, then you can decide what you want to do. The most successful people, in my opinion, they still don't drink, they still don't smoke, they don't do any of this stuff, because then your priorities get wrong.
And it's like, I've talked to those people, but like, talking to someone my age, he was telling me that shit mean a lot. Like,
100%.
It make me want to sacrifice too, because I be feeling, you believe in God?
For sure, bro.
I be feeling like, well, everything that happens, because I just moved out here from LA last year, you know? And I be feeling like I could get to where I'm going, but I'm just like the smoking, the drinking shit sometimes be throwing off my game, you know? And I just wanted to know, like, from someone else my age, like, if that shit, like, if you had a
100% it does. 100% it does.
high at.
Boys, we're back in Miami, only for a couple days. Today's November 20th. I think Thanksgiving's on like the 27th. I promised my mom I would come back, so that's why I left the Ferrari up there. So I'll go up there for 3 or 4 days, spend some time with my family. But you know, this is the life that I've chosen, right? When I go up to Atlanta, I can lock in, not speak to my parents, work, do whatever I want. But you know, I choose to spend some time with them because the reason I work so hard is so I can do what I want with my time. I love working my ass off with like a Herculean effort for 2-3 days straight, and then spending time with the people I love for 2 days and not having to worry about anything because I've created a system that builds and runs itself. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that vlog. All of the vlogs from now on are gonna be this cinematic. I've always wanted to make videos like this, but there's been 2 problems. I haven't had someone who's willing to work as hard as me, and you know, I just haven't been able to have someone film me so that we can put these clips together the way that I want. But my boy Drew has just been absolutely killing it. Hope you guys have loved these vlogs, and you know, it's my plan for us to continue to make these videos for years to come and just continue to get better. If this is our third vlog together, then you know it's just gonna keep going. But got so many more things to show you, so many more ideas of, you know, things from my childhood, things of me growing up, and you know, really starting to shine more light on that uncertain period of my life between, you know, 16 and 18 years old, where I didn't know if it was gonna work, and I just tried every single business model that I could. I think that'll be very, very valuable. But I'm getting ready to do a couple more calls today. I'm gonna eat, go to the gym, take some calls. This is the life. So we're back in Miami. We're gonna lock in for a couple days. I'm gonna go to my favorite restaurant, Coat, tonight. That's my little reward since I haven't had some really good food since I left for Atlanta. But hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. Again, if you are looking to scale your coaching business with one of the only people who still does one-on-one mentorship, which is myself, you can click the first link in my bio. You can check out the 8-hour free course that I've given. It's better than any mentorship or course that you've ever paid for, and it's free. Obviously, I have my paid community, I have my paid one-on-one clients, but if you just click that link, there's a video that'll walk you through all the information that you need if you want to kind of get an idea of the systems that we have so that you can scale your business. And with this 8-hour free course, it doesn't matter if you're already making 25K a month, it'll help you go to 50. I've had plenty of guys from that course, just when I sold that, make $100,000 a month. There's so many really, really detailed and methodical systems inside of there. Or if you're just starting, but you're at least making an effort, that is the one catch. We will not let you in the community. We will not approve you for the free course if you aren't already working. So when you put your Instagram down, if you have no videos, or if you don't put your Instagram in the form that you have to fill out, you're not gonna get in. But if you're already making an effort, you're already building a personal brand, you're trying to create a coaching business where you can make money from your phone doing what you love every single month, we will let you in. You can see the systems, and hopefully there's enough free value to make you money for free so that eventually you can join my program. I love all of you guys. As always, in a world full of weak-minded men, stay aggressive.